'99, let's see, I was running my specialty chemical consulting. Our two sons were in college. Our daughter, Eleni, would be entering her senior year in high school. And things were going well, enjoying life. Now, in 1990, Kathy and I started Nutritional Technologies. The main driver of that was to provide safe, legal, and effective nutritional supplements to, well, athletes primarily, but to everybody. The athletes, that's because the steroids that come in, everybody might remember Mark McGuire and the androstenedione, and then you had Jose Canseco and Barry Bonds. So the performance enhancing drugs, as they are now called, were just in all sorts of sports, including in powerlifting. So the ADFPA, by the way, they renamed themselves, it's USAPL, so that'll come up also. We've been drug testing since incorporation in November of 1981. It's hard to believe. It's ADFPA, USAPL. That's 40 years old. And we weren't making any moral judgments. We just didn't want the steroid users to be on our platform. Like, go and lift at other organizations. And I had competed, and I've been competing since the late 60s. And during the 70s, I went to many meets, and there were clear examples of roid rage. Guys would get a red light on a lift, and they would swear and throw their belt and abuse the officials. It was terrible. It was just awful. So we knew something had to be done. That's when the ADFPA came about. And then we subsequently, Kathy and I said, well, we want to offer supplements that are legal. There's no question at all. We never, ever sold any banned substances. So to summarize that, I was deeply immersed in the industry. So one day, a good friend of mine said, hey, Nick, a friend of mine from Canada, his name is Jim Hawley, is going to give you a call and tell you about a special supplement named Immunocal. I said, okay, great, because I was keen to learn anything and everything I could about any supplement. So Jim gives me a call the next day, and we must have talked for, must have been a half hour. Jim is a very nice fellow, for those who know him. Very nice fellow, very easy with whom to talk. So he started telling me about Immunocal, whey protein, undenatured whey protein concentrate. I'm following along pretty well, and it's very interesting. Some things didn't quite understand, bonded cysteine delivery system. I'm not real sure what that is, but suffice it to say, I was intrigued. So I still lapse into my, left brain, objective, analytical, technical persona. I said, Jim, this is very interesting. Can you send me some info? So he said, yeah, sure. I'll fax info to you. So the next day, some faxes are coming through. Judy, I am man enough to admit that when that first page came through, I got the chills. In fact, I got the chills right now, because the first page was the first page of the Immunocal monograph in the physician desk reference. Well, I said, no, wait a minute. There are no supplements in the PDR. There are no supplements in the PDR. Something special is going on here. He then proceeded to send me, I think it was like the first page of the 5 patents on Immunocal. U.S. Government Patent Office 5 on Immunocal. Signed to Immunotech Research, inventor Dr. Gustavo Bunos and cohorts. And these are method of use patents, a method of use. There wasn't some novel way to make it. It was a method of use patent. I said, wait a minute, this is remarkable. And you read the title of this patents, and it's like, good Lord, I can help people with this. My immediate thought was, I can help people with Immunocal. That was my immediate thought. So I immediately ordered 2 boxes for myself and wanted to try it, and the rest is history. 1999, I had gotten into lifting, and it was strictly a hobby. It was a hobby sport. I just kind of got into it. I take things pretty seriously. And I was doing pretty well. We had this local club, the Twin City Barbell Club, Twin City being Easton, Pennsylvania, Phillipsburg, New Jersey, just across the Delaware River. Easton is like as far east as you can get in Pennsylvania. A very active club. It actually roots, we've traced back to the 1920s. So we had a pretty good team, and we are lifting in literally my basement. And we had some of the best workouts here, Monday night, Wednesday night, Saturday morning. And we could have 20 people down there training. It was a good session. So I was in pretty good shape. And I had qualified for the AAU World Championships to be held in Atlantic City in October. So this was June. So I had planned out my program, weight set, rep scheme, goals and all to peak for the contest. And my lists were pretty good. I knew myself real well. Real good program, good overall, healthy lifestyle, great diet, thanks to Kathy, and a good exercise program. A bunch of things were working pretty well. So I started taking Immunocal, and literally within about 2 weeks, I said, gee, something's going on here. I am not quite as sore as I usually get. And I strive to get delayed onset muscle soreness. DOMS is actually desirable. It has very, very deep involvement and activation of the muscle myofibrils. Won't get too technical, but the actin, myosin fibrils, very deep activation, and they react. They get sore. They're micro-traumatized. So I wasn't quite as sore. I said something's going on. So I found that I could hit my next workout harder. I was recovering faster, hitting all my goals, all target goals on the way. And to a long story short, I go to the meet in October. I weigh in at a lean and mean 162 pounds, which is, 72 kilos, 72 and a half kilos, something like that. Energy level was high. My warm-ups went great. I felt really good. And I ended up doing an all-time best in the squat, the personal record, in the squat lift and in the deadlift. And my total, despite a mediocre bench presser, I'm not a bench presser, despite a mediocre bench, I set an all-time total record. And the sport, powerlifting, is kind of neat because you really go out there to make the lifts, to do better than previously. And of course, it's official because our referee is judging it. The best squat, best deadlift, best total ever. And the only variable, again, I knew myself well, I had a good program, was taking Immunocal. And I took 2 pouches a day, one in the morning and one after each workout, because there's still a pretty well accepted theory that the golden hour after workout, is when the body is saying, wow, what just happened there? From the workout, the microtrauma from the workout. And of course, it's going to affect recovery and repair right away. So it just makes sense to give it the best protein on the face of the planet. And I did, and it worked.
So now you know something that others don't know.
Yes.
What did you do with that knowledge?
Well, I put the product on a bunch of people, and unfortunately, so many things worked out well. We had a pretty good reputation in the area, certainly among powerlifters. Many of them, again, training with Twin City. But the track cyclists found us. And we had, I had the Australian track cycling team in a basement once. It was incredible. We were working with track cyclists from the velodrome in Trexlertown, not too far away from Easton. And of course, they're track cyclists, so they're squatters. So they were keen on squatting with us because the leg muscles, they're keen on squatting. So it was kind of like, hey guys, you want an unfair advantage over your competitors? And they said, what? Unfair advantage? And they kind of got a chuckle out of it. Said, yeah, well, this is a special product, totally legal. And they said, yeah, we're all in. And they all got good results with it. And, if we had the time, I could go into some of the details of the training, how they took it, how well they did. Some very, very good credentialed people in track cycling. A very good friend of mine was a strength coach at the University of Pennsylvania for a long time. He won a gold medal in Russia, a gold medal in the squat competition in Russia at the World Championship, a tremendous squatter. So he was taking the product. He introduced me to a young lady who was on the U.S. Olympic rowing team, single scull rower. She came in 10th in Australia in 2000. Gideon came in 12th and 8th in track cycling in the Greece and China Olympics. So really successful people in track cycling. Rob Wagner in powerlifting, Monica in the single scull rowing, and many state and national champions here, in powerlifting. So it was good. It was a real good run. What I would do is introduce the product to them, an undenatured whey protein concentrate. Try to keep it simple, but as I mentioned to you, Judy, I've got this flow of. See, I just thought everybody really wanted to hear all of the details of how Immunocal would upregulate intracellular glutathione biosynthesis. Well, not really, not really. They were really interested in that. They wanted the benefits and the results. Well, what's nice about sports is it's objective. So the positive results, the success, the benefits could be measured. So that was pretty easy. I also showed them the excellent article by Dr. Larry Lands, and I would encourage everyone, if you haven't seen that, Dr. Larry Lands, it was published a little while ago, but to me, it's still very cogent. It was in the Journal of Applied Physiology. What a great journal, Applied Physiology, where they had, and it had all the hallmarks of a great study: randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, etc. Healthy young people, control group, healthy people who took a pouch of Immunocal per day. They tested them beforehand on isokinetic leg machines and all, got a baseline. The long story short, after a fairly short time, the athletes taking Immunocal showed an average of 13% improvement in peak power. I mean, give me a break, 13% improvement? I know athletes who would kill for like 1% improvement in peak power. 1% improvement to a track cyclist coming around turn 4 in the final lap to have that power stroke, one extra power stroke. Wow, that's fraction of a second better time. Journal of Applied Phys. So where was I? 13% improvement average in peak power and about 13% improvement in delaying the onset of fatigue in power duration. Again, huge for any sport. And finally, the glutathione level, the people on Immunocal went up almost 36%, which was remarkable. To me, it kind of said that everybody's fairly low in glutathione. So that's another rationale for people to take it. Unfortunately, I don't think glutathione is a standard lab test yet. It should be. It absolutely should be. Well, I guess the thing I could say is everyone should be taking Immunocal. I hate to use that term, it's a no-brainer, but it has so many health benefits. As in the preview, video, I use Dr. Gutman's acronym, IDEA, which is excellent. And that also provides an opportunity for the listeners to present Immunocal to people. There's no better example than during the pandemic. I think everybody would like to have a product that was guaranteed, and it's proven to boost the human humoral immune response. That's the title of one of the patents. And it's just remarkable, Judy. So improves the immune system, improves detoxification, energy production, E, and antioxidant, which I parenthetically explain as like anti-aging. So it's just it's all the health benefits a human being would want simply by taking a pouch or two of Immunocal a day. To me, it's so straightforward. To listen to Dr. Gutman as often as possible. Dr. Gutman is the best. I mean, obviously the most knowledgeable person in the world on glutathione and of course Immunocal. In a very short time, a person would pick up some verbiage with which they are familiar, and would be simpler things. Dr. Gutman is adept at explaining, some complicated things fairly simply in layman's terms. So I think in a short period of time, listening to Dr. Gutman, a person would pick up some verbiage. I mean, it could be, this is a little extreme, but it could be as simple as, hey, take Immunocal every day, you'll be stronger. Or, gee, you don't have any energy? Well, take an Immunocal every day, it improves your energy production systems. Or you get sick all the time? Well, yeah, something's wrong with your immune system. Well, I've got the product proven to boost the human immune system. So I would recommend that, and I would recommend that people use the IDEA acronym, again, just as a memory jogger, reminder, opportunistic, during the pandemic, obviously start with I, it works. And I think the final thing I would say is another acronym that keep it simple and sincere, the KISS acronym. Because I was just way too technical. And well, it's not reproducible either. If you're trying to build a business, you're not going to find too many, Dr. Gutmans out there who can explain this stuff real well. So you got to keep it simple and sincere.